Hi, today I'm going to show you how to create a custom pedigree. So if you're on PigeonDB.com, go ahead and log in. So for today's example, I'm going to use a friend of mine. His name is Dominic DeCaratry, and he has a beautiful website. And what I'm going to do today is mimic that website in his custom pedigree. So we're here in the Pigeons account. And down at the bottom on settings, you'll see something called Pedigree Options. In Pedigree Options, you have the ability to create a custom pedigree. You can use any one of the pre-created default pedigrees that come with PigeonDB or create a new one. So for today, I'm going to create a new one for him. And the way you start off is, first of all, understand that when you create a custom pedigree, you're responsible for creating in the background your information for your loft. So we don't actually display that for you. So all these settings up here for your loft information, they won't apply. Everything else does apply. You can repeat, you can highlight repeating pigeons, and also the loft image will not be used on the custom pedigree. So the idea here is that you create that background with everything already on it. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to create a custom layout and pick our layout out. In this case, we have 5 layouts. What a layout is an area where we mark the information for each pigeon in the pedigree. These are set up as 4-generation portrait or 5-generation landscape. We're going to use the first one. And right away, you'll see that you have this pop up, which basically tells you this is your layout. This is where everything's going to be. Everything around it, with the exclusion of the branding area, is for you to put information that you want to have for your pedigree. So we'll use this layout, and what I've provided here is the information on what you need to create for the background. I don't have a background creation feature. I think it's out of the scope of a Pigeon program. There are many, many programs that you can use that do this for you very well. Photoshop, MS Paint, etc. So yeah, we are not going to claim to be a drawing tool if we're a Pigeon pedigree service. So the optimal background for this image has to be 144 pixels by 1504 pixels high. Since it's portrait, the width is shorter than the height. It's going to print out a 4-generation, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've conveniently added a Photoshop file for you to start from. If you don't have Photoshop, or you know someone that is able to use this, you can always download this for them and start working with it. So we'll go right into Photoshop for a quick look at that and how we build a pedigree. In Photoshop, with the Photoshop file that I downloaded from the site, this is what you see when you open it up. I have created the rectangles that represent the areas where the bird information will be. I've created these ancestor labels just for your information. So this will be, for example, the main pigeon being displayed, father, the mother, the father's father, the father's father's father, etc. So now what we'll do is go ahead and we don't really need to show the father in these labels, so we'll turn them off. We are going to add a background image. I've selected the background image that he has for his website and lightened it up a bit to about 53% opacity. What that does is it makes it less intense, less ink. So this is the alternative, which will cost you money for the ink that you'll use. So let's go with 53%. I'm going to mark the rectangles now. I'm going to, right now, they are basically transparent. They have no fill value, and they have no, they have just a dashed line around them. So I've selected all the rectangles, and I'm going to fill them with white, and I'm going to make the stroke black, and I am going to make the line solid. And finally, I'm going to make these not as opaque either by dropping them to about 30-ish%. So now what you'll have is these light colored rectangles in your background. I'm going to turn off the reserve for branding thing down here because we don't need to print that in our background. PigeonDB will put its branding in that area. All that is to show you what we've reserved. So if you happen to put valuable information back here, you likely won't see it. It'll be covered up by our branding. Okay, so last thing I want to do is just start doing something creative with the background. So in this case, I'll put the name of the website. So in this case, we'll use New Times Roman. Let's get a big font going on, and we'll color it. I guess white is fine for now. And let's say Carriage Lofts. Put all the information you need in here, like your address, your name, your website. Be creative with this. This is your background, and this will be on your pedigrees. So I'll go ahead and finish this up and meet you back at the website, at the PigeonDB pedigree feature. Okay? We are back at the pedigree options page, and we're going to go ahead and create our new pedigree layout. So remember, we selected default. We'll add that back in, and we'll upload the image. First, I want to show you this little slider here. If this is on, we shade the rectangles when we print. PigeonDB will shade those for you. If this is off, we won't shade the background rectangles for you. In my case, because I created a pedigree background that had the background rectangles, I won't need to have PigeonDB shade them for me. So I'll turn that off, upload the image, and here's the image. We'll take a quick look at this. So what I've created here is a background image with the rectangles filled in. I added this extra rectangle. So if this user wants to sign this document, they can sign it there. We won't overwrite on this because it wasn't part of the layout. All of the other squares where the pigeons are, that's where we will overwrite. So let's go ahead and select that to upload. And here it is. Again, you can tell that this wasn't part of the original layout because it doesn't have a white background on top of it. These white background rectangles are part of where the layout of the birds will be, and will be where we shade if you have this selected true. So let's go ahead and add this to our custom layouts, and we'll call this custom 1. Save it, and then we'll see that it's here in the custom layouts, and we'll make it the default. As you can see here, we again remind you of what this pedigree does. This background, it's a portrait, 4 generations, the paper size is letter, and the rectangles are not shaded for you. So we're going to go ahead and try this out now. I'm going to go down here to one of these birds that have quite a bit of information. And we will choose the pedigree option, and we'll create pedigree. And here it is. And as you can see, we have all the information in the rectangles that the layout shows you. And down here, you'll see the branding of PigeonDB. It's subtle, it's small now. It's not like all over the place, which is a way for other folks to know where they can do stuff like this. So that is basically it. That is how custom pedigrees work. And you can add as many pedigrees as you want, many custom pedigrees here. You can have hundreds of them. I've seen users who have dozens and dozens of them for every special occasion. We don't limit you on the number of custom layouts, and you can always use these guys as well. We'll add some more layouts over time, but at the time now we have 5 layouts, and there's a 5 generation one here. There is another 5 gen here, a little different. We are not moving these around. We don't let you move these guys around, the rectangles. Those are basically set there, but if you want to see something different, we can definitely work with you. All right, well, that does it for now. I hope you guys get a good feel for these custom pedigrees. And as always, we'll keep bringing you videos. Thank you.